Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to you wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining today's open day. It's a very special open day for us women because we are appreciating women in respect to the International Women's Month, and also we have very amazing and special speakers here with us. I want to know where everybody is joining us from. So please quickly introduce yourself to us in the chat. Let us know where you are joining us from, and let us know where you're joining us from and tell us something fun about you in the chat. I would be checking that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hi, Zendel. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Okay, I have some. Sorry if I'm murdering your name, please. I can see Elizabeth from Uganda. I can see Tanya from Zimbabwe. Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 and thank you very much for joining us today. We are very honored to have you here with us. I would want us to give about 2 minutes to our other participants so they can join us, and then we can fully start the session. Whilst we are doing that, please don't stop. Continue introducing yourself in the chat. I can see Nafisa from Nigeria. I can see Sophia, Praise, Mariam. All of you are very welcome to today's open day. Oh, I can see Zainab. Wow, someone is joining from Lesotho. Wow, Lesotho. Wow. You are all welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. If you have a colleague who has not yet joined, please do well to remind them to join us for today's session because it's going to be a very interesting one and you do not want your friends or your colleagues missing out on it. You are all welcome. Esther, welcome. Khadija, you're welcome. Okay. I can see you all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. We really appreciate you and we are happy to have you all here. Okay, Letitia from Malawi. Letitia, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. Everybody, you're welcome. Thank you. Our 2 minutes is app. And so I would love to give everybody a special welcome for joining us for the March edition of the Women Techsters Open Day. This is a special edition because this is the month for women. This is the time where we get to celebrate each other, show ourselves love, learn from each other. And so this particular open day is very special to us because we get the opportunity to honor women who have been in the tech industry for years, and they are here to share their experience with us. And so we are very happy to have everybody here. If you are joining us from wherever you are, just count yourself lucky because today is a very special day. Now, I wouldn't want to take much of our time, and so after I have welcomed you, I would like to introduce my boss, who is the programs manager for the Women Techsters team at Tech for Dev, to officially welcome all of you. What I just did is just, brushing the floor for the main person to come to officially welcome you and let you have, feel at home, because by now some people are wondering, what am I doing here and all that. She's coming to give you the flow. She's coming to open the main gate for you to feel at home and enjoy the session. So please, let's give it up for Olabisi Utak.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? Good day, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening from wherever you're joining us from. And welcome to the March edition of our Women Techsters Open Day. We know that this month is the International Women's Month. So welcome and happy International Women's Day to everyone. It's not too late. We're still in the month of March. And I'm truly delighted to have all of you brilliant and ambitious women from across Africa join us today as we explore how to build and grow successful careers in technology with a special focus on artificial intelligence. And on behalf of our executive director, the person of Oladura Oladepo, I would like to say welcome to each and every one of you, and a warm welcome also to all prospective women techsters who are eager to begin their journey in tech. This space is designed just for you to learn, connect, and make meaningful steps towards your future in the industry. And the month of March is actually a very special month for us as we join the global community in celebrating International Women's Month, a time dedicated to recognizing the achievements of women and accelerating action towards gender equality. This makes today's session even more meaningful as we spotlight conversations around AI, the possibilities and the opportunities it presents for women and girls across Africa. This month's edition is centered around creating access for women and girls to thrive in technology careers and also with an integration of AI. As AI continues to transform industry across the world, it is important that women are not left behind, but are actively involved in shaping, building, and leading the future of technology. Would also like to specially acknowledge our Women Techsters Launchpad Cohort 3.0 participants. I know that you guys are on the call and you started your classes officially on Monday. So a special welcome to you. We're excited to see some of you join this open day session. And we hope that today's conversation further inspires your journey as you begin exploring your opportunities in tech and AI. For our Women Techsters Bootcamp Cohort 5.0 participants, congratulations on successfully completing your project and demo day. This is a significant milestone, and we are incredibly proud of your progress, the progress that you've made so far. Your journey is a testament to what is possible with dedication, consistency, and also the right support system. Since the inception of the Women Techsters Initiative, we have witnessed the transformative power of digital skills from beginners taking their first steps to professionals transitioning into tech. We have seen countless stories of resilience, growth, and success. Women Techsters is an initiative of Tech for Dev, a non-profit organization committed to creating access to decent work and entrepreneurship opportunities for Africans through digital skills empowerment. Our goal is to bridge the gender gap in technology and empower 5 million women across Africa. The Women Techsters Open Day serves as a gateway for women like you to explore opportunities in the tech industry. And today, you would hear from inspiring women who are not only building careers in technology, but are also navigating and shaping the evolving landscape of AI. I'd like to extend my special appreciation to all of you for being here today. However, a special thank you to our speakers in no particular order, Daniela, Dr. Teddy, Nerissa, for taking time to share their knowledge and experiences. We look forward to hearing all of the amazing stories around your journey in the technology ecosystem. And to our moderator, Robbie, thank you for guiding this important conversation. And as we begin today's session, I encourage you to stay engaged, ask questions, and take full advantage of this opportunity to learn and be inspired. Thank you so much, everyone, and look forward to the many conversations that we're going to be having today. Over to you, Precious.
Thank you very much, Olavisi, for the wonderful welcome. I can see that everybody's excited. Now you feel at home. Yes, I told you you feel at home immediately you receive this welcome address. Now, up next, we are going to have a testimonial video from one of our alumni who is going to, tell you her story and how she has been through the Women Techsters Fellowship, just to, ginger you and give you more vim to tell you that whatever you have started can have a good end if you put a lot of work to it. Let me quickly share my screen so we can listen to this wonderful story. Okay. Please let me know in the chat if you can see my screen. Okay, so let's go.
Precious, I don't know the audio. We can't hear the video, but we can see it play, but the audio. Hi, Precious. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Okay,
Okay.
yes. The
Hello.
audio is better now. Hi, Precious. Do you want to reshare with the audio? We still cannot hear. Thank you.
Okay, let me quickly rework on that.
My name is Ezine Miracle Ozukalu. I am a beneficiary of the Women Textile Fellowship Program, class of 2022, and I am currently working as a product management intern at Prunech. I grew up in Enugu State, Nigeria, in a family of 6, and I am the last child, and I am a high school graduate. After I left high school, I wrote the entrance examination into university 3 times in Nigeria, and it was not successful. So I was almost giving up on my ambitions and dreams before I saw the Women Textiles Fellowship promotional material on social media, and then decided to apply. I applied for the Textiles program, and the application process was a bit tough, but I made sure I treated my needs because I really needed to get the skill. Took the assessment that came afterwards and patiently waited for the final email, which finally came, and it was a congratulatory email, and I was super happy when I saw I was accepted into the fellowship. So the experience was great and awesome for me because I connected with people from different countries, had a one-on-one interaction with my facilitator. We could ask questions in class. We took tests at the end of each module, and everybody was always looking forward to our weekly check-ins where they get to teach us soft skills and other things aside the technical skills. And then during the career week, we worked on a project, demoed it, and I got to work as a product manager for the first time during the project product presentation. The Women Techsters Fellowship played an important role in my career because I didn't just get the technical skills, I also got placed as an intern in a tech firm, which is where I currently work. And I also got matched with a mentor, and we have our weekly check-ins where she gets to check on me and know how I'm doing and help me out in any way I need help. After my internship, I look forward to growing into more senior roles as a product manager. I'd like to say a very big thank you to Tech for Dev team and to the executive director Oladiwura Oladipo for finding this young girl, giving her this opportunity that has changed her life. I'm super grateful. Thank you.
Yes. So I am very sure that you have picked a thing or two from the story. Oh, I can see that in the chat. Yes. This is a wonderful story, and this clearly tells us how dedication can lead you to your goal. You might be new to tech, you feel very lost, but this video is just to tell you that whatever you are listening to today or whatever you will hear today, if well implemented, your story is going to be a success story, just like the story you have heard today. Now we have a fireside discussion coming up with very wonderful and amazing speakers who have been in the industry for years. When I say years, I'm talking 15, 10, and they are very amazing mothers, very amazing sisters, and very amazing role models that we can learn from in the industry of tech. I wouldn't like to take much of your time, so I will be introducing you to our moderator for today. She is going to lead the fireside chat and take us through how this wonderful session will be. And she is in the person of Ruby. Ruby, please, are you on the call?
Hi, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening. Thank you very much, Ruby. Please, Ruby, yourself and your speakers, I have introduced you to your participants. Participants, please, your moderator is Ruby.
All right, thank you very much. Hi, everyone. See, the problem with Zoom right now is I can't see reactions. I don't know how you will let my panelists feel welcome, but I guess we'll figure it out in the chat. Would we? Please let me see it in the chat if we'll figure it out before I continue. Okay, someone says welcome. Hey, they're calling me ma'am. Wow, that's nice. Anyways, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone again. I hope this discussion will be very fruitful. I have three amazing women here. I've read their bios and I'm like, wow, I want to be like them when we grow up. So I hope you also have some aspiration whilst you listen to them and have this fruitful discussion. So in no particular order, I'm going to introduce my speakers. I'll start with Dr. Teddy. So Dr. Teddy is the head of AI Division Knowledge Consulting Limited. Sorry. Dr. Teddy is an AI policy and governance expert dedicated to advancing inclusive and accountable AI across Africa, right? She currently serves as the head of AI division at Knowledge Consulting Limited, where her work intersects technology, policy, and leadership in assisting organizations develop AI strategies that drive innovation while safeguarding human dignity and social equity. She is also the founding managing director of Ubuntu Center for AI Governance and Innovation, a Pan-African initiative promoting responsible and inclusive AI systems rooted in African values. She is a member of Uganda's AI Task Force and registered member of the Association of the Advancement of AI with a background in engineering and governance. Dr. Dr. Teddy's work has directly contributed to global conversations on responsible AI. Now, that is a very packed, what is the name? That is a very packed bio. I am expecting that by this time there should be some applause in the chat to welcome Dr. Teddy. So she's on your screen currently. So yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Teddy, for taking the time to do this with us. We are really grateful for your presence. And the next speaker is Daniela Annan Nkansa. She is a senior software engineer at Consolidated Bank Ghana. From fear to passion, her journey into programming started with uncertainty, but stepping into a coding environment changed everything for her. She's a result-driven software engineer known for delivering innovative and highly secure software solutions. She specializes in full stack development and leverage agile and Scrum methodologies to drive efficient, high quality development process. Beyond her technical work, she's passionate about mentoring young developers and teaching children how to code, helping to shape the next generation of tech innovators. She has volunteered to teach children the principles of coding and founded an NGO dedicated to equipping young minds with engineering and programming skills. She also initiated a project called I Break GH, aimed at empowering young people, especially females, to break free from limiting stereotypes surrounding gender and circumstance. And she actively trains and mentors young developers, equipping them with practical skills, industry knowledge, and the confidence needed to thrive in the tech space. Thank you so much, Daniela, for joining us as well. We are grateful that you took time to do this with us. And my third speaker is Nerisha Bajun Visa. Please, if I butchered your name, forgive me. She is the head of software engineering at Lesaka Technologies. Narisha is a technology executive and engineering leader with deep expertise in building and scaling high-performing software teams with a fintech and cloud computing space. As head of software engineering at Lesaka, she leads the delivery of secure, scalable platforms that power financial innovations across emerging markets. Previously, Narisha held a leadership role at Amazon Web Services, which we call AWS, where she focused on cloud-native architectures, distributed systems, and secure engineering practices. And she is an AWS certified security specialist and safe DevOps practitioner as well, bringing a strong blend of technical depth and agile leadership to her work. Now, Narisha is a very passionate advocate for diversity and inclusion in technology, and is actively involved in initiatives that support women in tech and broaden access to careers in software engineering and AI. Now, thank you so much, Narisha, also for joining us, and thank you, ladies, for taking time to do this with us. I hope the audience are ready to learn a lot from you. Now, with what we are trying to discuss today, I think the best thing to do is to start from the foundation when it comes to, we are talking about tech, we are talking about programmers. So my first question is going to go to Daniela. So Daniela, for someone just starting out in tech with no knowledge, with no skills, what are the most important skills that you think they should focus on, especially in this world of AI-driven right now? What do you think they should start with?
Okay, good evening, and thank you for having me. Please, I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Thank you. So for someone starting in development, I would suggest that when it comes to programming, most of the times it's about understanding systems, knowing your basics in coding. So you have to know when you have to do your variables and where you have to do your loops. You have to understand the knowledge about programming. And aside that one too, we have to know how systems work. So let me give an example. We have different systems and their logins, right? You would ask, why is this login a bit different from this kind of login. So you have to understand how systems to work in a way so that when it comes to the development, you are really understanding everything that is coming on. And aside that one, we have your logical and critical thinking. I know by now someone is thinking, why don't you do your AI? We've not started coding. But all these things come together to form the programming. You have to know how to think logically, critically, because when a problem is presented to you to develop a solution for it, you have to know that, oh, from this point, where does it go? And by your understanding of systems, you don't just generate it in a generic way because, so something like that, if a tool can just do that, then what makes you as the developer like a bit different? So the difference is how you think through the whole process. So understand how systems work and also have a knowledge about AI tools because now they are assisting us to make our work so easy. So have an understanding around that side so that it can really assist you in that order. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that input. So building upon that, Nerisha, what do you think, what skills do you think will help beginners actually stay relevant in this AI-driven world today?
Hi, Robbie, and hi, everyone. Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. I think in terms of the skills, it would obviously be good to, I mean, like Daniela said, understand systems. But skills would be coding skills. So if you can understand a coding language, something like Java or Python, even if you understand the basics so that you understand the how systems work, how they're designed, even if it just helps you to write a simple application, that would be good. And if you understand the basics of a coding language, you can then build on top of it by using AI. So AI, obviously, it can write code, but obviously it would need to know what kind of code you want to write. So if you understand the basics, you can then use AI to help improve your skills, write code better, write code cleaner. Using a lot of these AI tools, they could even help you improve it. It can give you suggestions as to how you can write it better, how you could have, how you could scale it a little bit better. But the basics is obviously where you need to start. So obviously, understanding a coding language is your first part to get involved, and that you can get from anywhere. I see Daniela has a hand raised. You can go for it.
You're muted, Daniela.
And also learning the soft skills, how to collaborate with, because being a software developer, there are processes you have to interact with people to understand their problems. So it's a very key thing, how to collaborate with other participants, and even how to communicate your solutions to people. Because if the problem is being solved, how do I communicate it to you to really understand? So communication, collaboration, and definitely resilience. Because in coding, when the error comes, sometimes you feel like giving up. And sometimes you feel like you are very down, like in code. So if you need to be resilient to be able to like really move on.
I like that. I like that. Thank you so much for that. That brings me to Dr. Teddy. So people actually assume that when you're in the tech space, you have a background in engineering or you have a background in computer science or something. So for someone without a technical background, how do you think they can start building a career in this in AI? And what role do you think young African women can actually play in shaping the future of AI?
Thank you so much. It's really an honor that I get to be invited and speak to, I'm seeing over 170 ladies, totaling to maybe 180 that I couldn't have access before. So it's really an honor. Thanks for the invitation, and I'm humbled to be before you. I would like to assume as a starter, that everyone understands what AI is, because I have realized that we are conflating AI with so many things. And with that, it limits even our discussion. So as I discuss the women in tech or AI area, I'd like to also kind of bring in the aspect of how many people are discussing AI in a way that scares many out of the field. AI is very, I know at this level, the big tech companies are thinking of huge projects that make everyone else feel like, I can't do anything in AI. But I'd like to look at it as simple as someone who's raising a child. And this is something us women, we are good at, raising children. AI is like a child. You're giving it information and you're expecting it to behave well. We are mothers, we know sometimes we don't behave according to how we've been raised, what we've been told, or what we've been trained on. That is AI. You give it data, hoping it sticks to that data you're training it on, and at the end of the day, performing the task you want it to perform. So as women, as girls in the tech space, I see opportunities, not only as a computer scientist or as an engineer. I see us covering all the tech positions. Because look at it as training a child. You don't need only to have learned computer science to be active in the tech area. One of the things that surprised me when I was moving on different global stages, the people there were not coders. They didn't know how to code, but they were the top voices in tech. I was like, how does that work? To be just knowledgeable on policy, and then you're a leader in tech. So for women, girls, I like to interest you in the tech space and say it doesn't have to be about computer scientists. Even if you're in the area of psychology, it is needed in the tech world. Even if it's in the area of environment, we know we are hearing so now much discussions around the environment. We need your knowledge in the tech space around environment. So the only task for us women is to allow ourselves, allow yourself to interest yourself in the AI discussion. Pick 1, 2, 3 tools that you know are really available on the internet. Because AI is no longer a discussion of where are we heading? We are heading towards that. AI is going to be the foundation. Like the way we're using internet now, and I'm talking to you on Zoom, and you're like, how much did I pay to access Zoom? No, it's going to be like the foundation of everything we're going to be building in the future. So basically, look at AI as the internet of tomorrow. And once you put that in your mind, then bring it back and say, no, it's the internet of now. How can I use it? How can I understand it? How can I learn it? How can I shape it? You can shape it in so many ways, depending on the skills you have. They don't have to be purely tech skills, like Daniela has said and Narisha has said, soft skills are so critical in the tech environment. So ladies, let's pull out all our soft skills as ladies. Let's go conquer the tech world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Teddy, for that. So I'm coming to Narisha because she has a background in AWS. I saw somebody asking, why is everybody talking about coding? I hope Narisha will find a way to chip that in. But then again, so Narisha, you've worked at AWS and led engineering teams. What should a beginner actually focus on if they want to grow in the leadership sector in the future?
So if coming from AWS, which is quite heavy tech and it's quite heavy into coding, if you want to be a leader, you would have to actually start in that space. You'd have to start with being technically sound. So obviously leaders don't just start off as being a leader. They have to grow themselves into that leader. So if you want to be, if you want your people that you're leading to trust you, you have to earn that trust. So it comes from soft skills. It comes from knowing what you're speaking about, and being able to share that information. So again, if you're technically strong, you'll earn that trust. You'll be able to lead teams, and also you'll be able to speak to teams and to guide them and to mentor them. I think the main thing would be like, make sure that you're growing your technical skills. Make sure you're able to get to that level where when you're speaking to a team and you're guiding a team, you are knowledgeable enough to guide them. Obviously, teams are going to come to you for a lot of advice. And if you want to be a leader with them, you want to be able to say that I actually understand it, and I'm going to show you how I've learned it so that I can spread that to you as well. And also, you want to be able to show teams or teach teams to own something entirely. And exactly like we're saying with AI, it enables you to own something entirely. So if you have to take ownership of a system that you didn't even design, um, you can use some AI tools to help you to understand what does the system do. How can I maintain it? If there's a bug, you can even use AI tools to help you debug that piece of code. So if you're being thrown into the deep end, use your AI tools to help you understand what it's doing. Use tools to help you to figure things out. When I first started my journey, as a software engineer, there were no AI tools, so it would take us weeks to figure out what was going wrong and be able to fix something. But now, you'll be able to solve problems, within a couple of minutes or a couple of hours, which is great. And I think that's why we're saying, the place that you're in today is a great space. You've got these tools to you today, and it wasn't there available before. I think us as women as well, we must take advantage of these things. These these tools and this technology, it wasn't there before, and women were kind of on the back seat. So I think what we need to do is, now that it's here, we must take advantage of it. We must use whatever we can so that we can actually, exactly like Dr. Teddy said, we must be able to take over the tech space as women.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, Daniela, you mentor developers already. So I want to know, given 3 practical steps at least, what practical steps can a beginner who wants to be, like, let's say, in 3 months ready at least, do something for themselves? What practical steps do you think they can follow?
Okay, so from my side, I'll walk you through how mostly we mentor those who come to our end. So for programming, most of the times we start from the beginning, problem identification. So when they come, mostly we see the fear, the doubt. It's like, oh, I don't want to code. I want to do something else. So we start from problem identification. At least they should go out there and find a problem that they could solve. And from the identification, we let them collaborate. So we put them on platform where they can communicate and collaborate with each other, because it's very necessary. Most of the times, let's say interns, when they come in from different schools, so they'll be shy and all that. But through the collaboration and communication, we see they become a bit relaxed. Then maybe for the second week, after they identify the problem with no technical skill, we tell them, okay, since you're exposed to digital solutions, how then do you want to go about it? So this stage, you are just talking about, okay, there's a problem, this is how we are going to approach it. From there, they give us like a pseudocode. So pseudocode is like, you are not writing a code, but you are giving us steps. If this happens, this will happen. If there's a wrong password, we throw you out. If your system is good, so like they are going through that process. By that time, we've not even started any technical skill from there. So as they finish the pseudocode, we start them from the basics. Mostly we refer them to W3 schools. And aside that, every Friday, every developer gives their experience. So we take them through their CRAD, that's they create, update, and delete whole approach, then they read that whole approach. Every developer will come and talk about how they go about it. And then we make sure we let them go and do self-learning, because in the programming space, if you don't learn on your own and you depend on someone, most of the times you'll be like at the back. So then the technical skill starts, and then by then they have some basic knowledge on variables, for loops. So now they'll be linking all those things to the pseudocode that they've written. So it's like it's now becomes sense. So most of the time, the impression we get from our mentees is like, okay, it's making sense. So programming is not like something you're going to learn some language that no one really understands. So from their pseudocode, it's like it's just natural logic and they are going through. So by then they've developed their logical thinking, their critical thinking, and now the technical aspects is in, where we take them through their code. And if there's a need for them to do some validations at a point where there is not, we give them feedback. So it's like they develop and then we give them feedback on that. From there, we move on to presentation, just to give them the confidence and ownership of their products. So they present before the whole team and then they give feedback. It's very tough because you have non-technical people. You know, the time you spend so much time to work on a feature and someone tells you, ha, this thing doesn't make sense. It's like, my dear, this you can't tell me that. It's a bit difficult for them, but then it's just the stage for you to take ownership, how to take in negative feed, and how to even reply. So those are the steps that we go through. We start from the non-technical, then we move on to technical. So by the time we are at the technical stage, they can really relate, and then they are not thinking of programming as something magical, like something for the aliens to do. They can actually relate. So that's the process mostly we go through with beginners into.
That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. So starting from the ground up, problem solving before anything else. Okay. And how do you think AI is changing the work you do now to build applications? Now we are moving solely into the AI world. Let's talk about how AI is changing that part.
Okay, so now as Narisha mentioned, it makes things faster. Before AI, okay, I started coding before AI. Anyway, that time Stack Overflow was the AI. You could find any solution on Stack Overflow. But now AI makes things faster. So you are now able to debug. It's not the AI learns from you and you learn from AI as well. So mostly it's more like I see AI to be like my bestie in programming, because it's what I feed in, is what it gives to me. So it makes things faster. And also there are some tasks. Let's assume you have to develop a project and then you have to insert 1,000 data into a database. You can't be typing in, especially if you are moving it from Excel. So you're coming to write a query for that. You see, you have to type the query. The best you can do is copy and paste. But imagine 1,000. So such a thing, you can use an AI to just copy the 1,000 data and just give it a prompt. So prompt two is just another skill you have to really develop. So it makes those mundane tasks. There are some tasks which are so easy. Like, so let me give a practical example. There were two developers that had an issue with their code. So during the debugging, you do the natural way, you find an action, you put your breakpoints where you try to find out what is actually happening. Then there was one Gen Z developer who just put it in an AI tool, and it's like, this is the solution to it. So it makes things like faster for you in terms of debugging, in terms of even building knowledge and all that. Some tasks you can just assign to AI to do for you.
All right, that's great. So that brings me to Dr. Tedishi. You've earlier explained what AI is in the simplest terms to a beginner. Now, how do you think AI is currently changing industries in Africa, and what opportunities does it actually create for young people? Please, you're muted.
Thank you so much. I like the way Daniela has explained the way she's using AI to make her work easier, because it then makes you realize that this is a tool that we can all use to make our life easier. It doesn't have to be in the tech world or only for the computer scientists. So in Africa, I recently did a simple study to understand how AI is altering service delivery. Many of us, I think, have access to banks. And 10 years ago, you would line up and line up just to deposit. And now things have changed. The banking or the financial institutions are using a lot of AI systems to detect fraud and to help quicken the process of identifying or detecting the different IDs they need. That alone is transforming Africa. That alone is opening up doors to so many things we thought it's only for the urban people. We are seeing even the rural areas or the remote areas that we thought before that when I live there, I can't access this service. We are seeing those services extending to rural areas of Africa. Get to the health sector. The example I usually like to give is that of Rwanda, because I've been there. Rwanda's health sector is transforming. I can't say to a huge level, but they're showing progress. Before, you would need so much healthy workers who are not even available to help in accessing health services that possibly you would have gotten just a guidance on what you need. So we are seeing Rwanda transforming their health sector by integrating a lot of AI in their system, especially their health ecosystem. And I know it's going to spread. They already use drones to deliver critical healthy medicines, and we know drones have AI integrated, the analytics of everything. When you go to the agriculture sector, there it's crazy. I think India has the best case study, but Kenya presents an understanding for Africa. It's transforming how farmers receive services, understand their crops, understand diseases, understand the pesticides they need, understand the weather, and also in the mining sector. So it's cutting across. It's not only in, can I say, where we previously thought it could only stay. So we are seeing AI transforming Africa in the health, agriculture, mining, financial services, and even public sector. We are having so many of our governments using AI in the systems, especially like revenue collection. They're detecting a lot of fraud using AI. We're seeing AI in the transport sector. They are using a lot of AIs in tracking. It's around fraud. It's around tracking record, because AI is all about detecting a pattern and recognizing something that you've showed it, and also other things. But we are seeing our government incorporating it or integrating it in a wide range of public services and to a given level, transforming the efficiency of service, especially public service delivery. So I don't know if you need more case studies, but on my side, I feel if we are not intentional on understanding AI, not only for the technicalities, on what it can do, what it has done, how can we position ourselves to shape it, then we are just going to be waiting to say, yes, sir, yes, sir. Because how else are you going to know? And it's not only the technical. I want to emphasize that, because all the government workers that are using these AI systems are not technical people, but they're using them. So how do we interest ourselves to shape it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's very insightful, and those are a lot of use cases. However, there's this fear around that AI is going to take our jobs. So with your last statement, I want you to complete it with this for us. Should beginners be worried about this fact that people there's a fear that AI is going to take their jobs? And if there's an opportunity, how can they actually identify that and take that opportunity?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to deliver to you bad news. If you're lazy, if you think you're going to just sit on your computer and do these simple tasks that are repeatedly, that can be programmed by a system to do them repeatedly, like tasks that are easily replicated, it's taking your job. It's going to take your job, clearly. So if you're doing a career, if you're taking up an education path career that requires you to do these tasks that you know a system can replicate, it's going to take your job. However, if you ask yourself, but will it take away my mind? The only thing you're going to be different to the AI system is your mind, is your ability to think like a human, because it's a machine, it's a computer, but it can take your job. So think broader. If this is what I've been studying for a long time, for the longest of time, and AI is going to take this job away, what can I do? So AI is going to change the job market. And the change is going to start with us accepting that it's going to change. If you say, no, this one, it won't take it, as long as you're doing that task on a computer and you're doing it over and over and over and over, it's going to learn from you, with or without your permission. So the earlier you give yourself that permission to accept the change that is coming and ask yourself more questions. Okay, if it takes this, what will I be able to do? So it's going to be more of the skills. What skills can I add on? What more can I do? What more can I do? If you're rigid and saying me, this is all I can do, yes, it's going to take a job, especially if it's a job that is done on a computer repeatedly. And now we are seeing physical AIs. So it's also going into the cleaning. And so we need to be worried and then take up deliberate actions to change that. Yes, AI is going to take your jobs. So how do we change that job market so it doesn't take away our jobs? Thank you.
Yeah, that's very insightful. That's very insightful. Thank you so much. I see a lot of people engaging, means everyone is here. That's good to know. You're not tired yet. Okay, so on the topic of AI, Nerisha, you've been a software engineer for over 15 years. How has the industry changed, especially with the rise of AI? Hi, Nerisha.
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you just repeat it?
Okay, I'm saying that your experience in software engineering for over 15 years now. How has the industry changed with the rise of AI?
So obviously it's changed drastically. When I started, so I mean on two levels. On the level of firstly having women in engineering. When I first started, I was probably one of the only women in my company. So and it was difficult having to work with a room full of men trying to explain something. Back then it was assumed that it was only men who knew what was going on in technology. And that face of that has changed. And now I'm working with, a lot of women that are intelligent, and they're rising to the challenge. We're proving to men that, we're not only better, we're smarter, and we're coming up with more ideas and better ideas sometimes. And I think the main thing is with the rise of AI, it's giving us more of an opportunity to get involved. It allows us, I mean, I think what women are best at doing is multitasking. AI allows us to do that. It allows us to do our job, as well as obviously using AI to investigate something else, to learn a new skill, to be able to do more than one thing. Like Dr. Teddy mentioned that, AI could be taking our jobs. If it is, we could use AI to basically teach us something else so that we can evolve that space as well. the industry will always be changing. It's always going to be evolving. Back then, when you were a software developer, you were measured on the number of lines of code that you wrote. That was how they measured your performance. But these days, it's more about what you can deliver, how quickly you can deliver, and how important that service or project that you delivered is to a business. So it's evolved already. So it's not about just writing code. It's not about just sitting there and staring at a bunch of lines of code on the screen. It's about how you can actually visualize it, how you can create screens that can be adapted for anything that you're working on. And again, obviously, there's a lot of tools. Like in the past, you would have a UX or a user experience engineer that would go in and would design screens for you. These days, you could kind of describe it. You can prompt an AI tool to tell you, this is what I'd like to develop. I'd like it to cater for this market, and it will create you a screen without you having to go through a UX engineer or a UI engineer to actually create that for you. So obviously, I think back then there was a lot of roles in terms of software engineering. Like I said, there was back end and front end and UX designers. But with all of these tooling, you could have one engineering platform with one set of skills using a lot of AI to be able to produce a result by yourself. So I think it has definitely evolved, and I think it's still evolving.
Okay, okay. I mean, I'm sure that will evolve for a very, very long time. And as Dr. Teddy said, we need to catch up. So how is AI influencing the way software is built and how teams work today? Still to you, Narisha.
Um, So I mean, AI is obviously influencing the way we build software by allowing us to build something faster. So you might have heard of people talking about when we're starting with a project, we build a minimum viable product. So it's just a prototype to prove a concept. These days, you can use AI to build that prototype a lot faster so that you can actually get whatever you may need. So sometimes it might be that you have an idea and you want someone to fund that idea. You could start off by building a prototype to prove that this idea is going to work. Like I said, in the past, building a prototype would take you weeks, if not months, or sometimes years, depending on the idea. But now you can use AI to develop that prototype quite quickly. And it can allow us to actually, have more ideas, build more software, and you could also use it to collaborate with your teams. So if you look at all of us on this call, we are from different parts of the continent, and we've all come together on this platform. You could do the same when you're working together in a team. So, I mean, currently, I have teams that work with me on the same project from all over the world. And it's quite amazing because AI allows us to do that. It allows us to be able to work on the same project, work on the same code, and align with someone that's sitting on the other side of the world. And I think that's what makes it quite interesting. So it doesn't have to be that you need everybody sitting in the same room. It doesn't mean that just because you are on the opposite side of the world that you can't contribute to the same service, to the same project. We can all work together and we can solve some of the biggest problems that we have in this world today if we actually collaborate using tooling like this, using AI tools that bring us all together like this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's very insightful. Speaking of tools, someone asked in the comments, I don't want it to get missing before we move back to it. So someone wants to know which AI tools, I mean, any of you can take it or you can add on, which AI tools are of best value for any tech work? So who wants to start?
I think I can. I
Narisha
mean,
is
we
on.
all can. We all can. I
Okay,
think
so just
I'll
start and
just
then we'll move it along.
yeah. I think for software engineering, I would start small and I would start with whatever is free. And there are a lot of free tools. You've got your OpenAI, you've got ChatGPT, you've got Claude. Okay, Claude does charge you after a certain while. You've got your Microsoft Copilot. I would say start with everything that you can use that's free. Obviously, they can become expensive over time, but my suggestion is experiment with these free tooling first. See if you're comfortable with it. I wouldn't spend any money. You're learning, you're still growing. I would say start with whatever free AI tool is out there. See if it works for you, and then you can go from there.
Thank you. Daniela, do you want to add something? I see you're smiling a lot.
Yeah, Narisha just mentioned all, and let me add one codex.
Okay, thank you. And Dr. Ted, did you want to add one and also talk a bit about the policy part when it comes to AI? Because I see that a lot of people use AI and they don't know some regulations that are with it and uploading documents and all that. If you could share a bit more light on that as well for us.
Okay, I think Daniela and Narisha really laid down the available tools. I would maybe add on Grok. It can also assist, depending on the task that you want to do. It depends on what, sometimes we think we have a monolithic understanding of what tech is. But depending on what you want to build, how you're seeing your product, then you can choose, like Narisha said, the free products. There are very many tools available. If you know one, for example, if you know Cloud, ask Cloud, what are the other available free tools? If you know ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT, what are the other available free tools? So you keep on asking, what are the other available? They'll tell you. They'll tell you what you need, and before you know, you'll be an expert also in that area. On the issue of policy, what is so sometimes interesting and frustrating is when we hear the AI race. This is a race that Africa never signed up for. And so we are participating in a game that fairly we could have been maybe playing to a different tune. Maybe ours is not a game. Maybe ours is going to be a dance or a song. So the policy is mainly what are those things, activities, tasks that the government should do in the age of AI or to advance AI. Now, if you're not producing, if you're not developing, if you're not highly invested in AI, how are you determining that? Like it or not, the heaviest of our AI programs are foreign funded. They are donor funded, they are development partner funded. Like there's always a foreign hand on them. And they clearly tell you, the Americans will clearly tell you, we want the whole world to depend on us. The Chinese are saying, we want to be the first alternative, the cheapest that everyone will think of. Africa, what are we saying? Give us, we see what we can use. So policy gets a bit tricky because we are looking at two different giants with totally different objectives in the AI era. If your government is looking at the American way, the way they are racing is to have an AI god, like an AI that can do everything for you. So as a policy person, you're asking yourself, at what point will I be, like if you are president, at what point will I be able to control my people if I can't control some of these basics? Because policies are defined and developed by government. You can't be an individual saying, I'm going to put a policy. Maybe if you're looking at the company level, and I don't think we're talking at company level. I think we're talking at government level, public level. In the different private sectors and the different organizations and companies, we can think of our policies, AI policies. What should you put in and what you shouldn't put in? Because like we know, I think Daniela and Nisha will tell us that sometimes when you give access to these AIs, you don't actually know what they have access to. If you plug in, you don't know exactly what they have access to. So their policy is different from the public policy. Because public, you're looking at things that are going to influence the way services are delivered. So if they switch off, now we are hearing these current scenarios of the wars. If they switch us off, we've had scenarios of the internet where the cable, was it in the West? I've forgotten that case very clearly. But if they interact with that service, then what if we are all building our infrastructure on it? So policy is a bit tricky at this level because we are trying to define exactly whose vision, whose focus should we align with. Obviously, the West is predominantly occupying Africa, that we can't deny. My way of viewing things is, how about if Africans go back to the table? We have an opportunity now to be on table and say, who are we and what do we want? We don't have to jump on this game so fast. I use the word Ubuntu, and my company is called Ubuntu. I am because we are. The reason as to why you're there is because someone else is there. The Western sometimes are so individualistic. They're thinking of an individual, themselves, like myself alone, me, 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 me. But as we like communities, we like thinking of communities like my mom, my dad, my cousin, we are thinking in a community. So policy should take that route, in my understanding. Policy should not so much focus on what one company can get, what one company is telling us to do, but always question. So if I get this, how about the rest? Because I am, because we are. That is my take.
Thank you very much, Dr. Teddy. We've had a lot of discussion. And now I want to see the audience in their chats. At least write something. I've seen people writing, but not everyone. Please share your thoughts in the chat, and also you can start putting your questions there. I'll take notes and then ask the panelists for you. So as now drifting from AI, we've talked a lot about AI, we've talked a lot about the foundations of getting into tech and all that. Daniela, you mentioned your journey started with uncertainty. What helped you move from fear to starting, and what advice would you give beginners who feel the same way? Because I'm pretty sure that after all we've said, some people are still scared to start. So yeah. What
Okay.
advice would you give beginners?
I would love to start from like how the whole fear and uncertainty started. So I'm from a background where I think before senior high school, I had little to no exposure to computers. Like from the background where you are warned not to touch a computer. So naturally you grow up thinking computer is fragile, like you touch it, you will spoil it and so complicated and something not meant for you. So like everything began to change when I went to senior high school, where there was a program that I attended, Elite, Emerging Leaders in Technology and Engineering. So they took us to a conference, National Society of Black Engineers. I think around that time, we met some engineers that mentioned there is a need for us to solve like real world problems through engineering. And honestly, I was inspired because all along I've wanted to solve like real world problems. And the thing was that, we always when like necessity is a mother of all inventions. Before the conference, I felt like maybe Africa didn't need anything. That's why there is no need for us to invent. But then it threw so much light on it and I was inspired and I wanted to do engineering. So choosing a course in the uni, of course, so computer engineering was not going to be a thing because I didn't know much about computer engineering. But my big sister encouraged me to choose computer engineering. And then from there, I was really afraid. When I entered university, I didn't even know the difference between cut and copy. It was really crazy. And then programming, whenever they give the question, it's like, they will solve it fast. So then even through university, in my mind, programming was for the smart guys. Like So it's just something not for us. But the whole thing changed about programming when I got to do my national service. I got to do it in a software development house. And that's when I was like, I'm going to be here for 1 year. Then I have to just make good use of it. So through the support of my colleagues and those around me and the resilience, I remember back in uni, anytime I run a code and there's an error, instead of me to read it, I go like, my house before after me. I know that statement. So it was really hard for me from that side. And through the resilience, like I wanted to learn, I got a lot of people to also support me too. So for anyone like coming out of it, sometimes the fear never goes. So it's about the confidence, your personal decision to make it. And trust me, when you decide to do it, there will be a lot of people around to support you. And if you are here and you are still afraid, I go like you are in the right community, Tech for Dev. For me, it was a conference, a National Society of Black Engineers conference that enlightened me. Being here is really the first step, like the best step. They are going to expose you through their classes. So by the time you are done with the classes, even before you start, you are enlightened. So you are just at the best place to start. And also build good network, like in your classes. If you see someone is so good and you really want to be the person's friend, go for it. Because sometimes when you have an error or something, you need to call a friend before you go to a colleague. And one other thing, I know AI is really good helping us solve so many things. But in the process of learning programming, make sure there are some errors, you rethink about it. Because nowadays, as soon as anyone comes with an error, they just copy paste and then the whole issue. But in building a skill, right, you need to go through the process so that by the time you've developed yourself, you really know that now. Initially, I was avoiding errors like something. Now I write a code and like put in an error. And when the error doesn't come, I go like, the code is not working. So it's like that thing. So first of all, as in conclusion, make sure you have a support. First, you have Tech for Dev. So you are already sorted, and then have build like network your class, build network that they will assist you in developing it. I think that's my take.
Thank you very much. And I think that's very true. Me, for one, I grew up in a community, so I actually know what it means like have a good support system. Okay. Um, Narisha, what is one practical thing a young person can start doing today to prepare for the future of tech and AI?
I think if you want to pursue a career in software engineering, you could start with something as practical as creating a biography for yourself. So, in other words, if you want to, like, if you want to apply for a job, or even try and apply to go into university, um, create a web page of yourself. And again, you use any one of those tools, Chat GPT, OpenAI, ask it to help you to design your own web page for yourself. It's a good way to tell people about yourself. It's a good way to showcase your own skills. And again, if you're trying to apply for a job in the software space, it's basically it's telling everybody what you're capable of doing. And again, like I said, even if you don't have the skills today, use whatever tools you have available to learn it. I think like I said, you might have internet at home, even if it's just on your cell phone. Download something like ChatGPT, ask it those questions, ask it, how would I be able to create a web page of myself? What languages do I need to learn? What do I need to do? And then let those tools help you to design something so that you can have a practical example that showcases your own skills. From there, you'll be able to use your own creativity to design and make it look as amazing as you want it to be. But again, like I said, you can make it as simple or as complex as you'd like it to be. And that's basically how I started. I created a web page of myself when I started my first job. That way, it made everybody see what I was capable of doing. And then over the years, I just improved on it. So I mean, I guess a practical thing you could do is basically start with that. Start with creating a web page for yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Teddy, would you want to add something to it?
I think add what? I think Narisha has been said it, right?
She
And
said
I feel like
everything.
I nailed it well. Yeah.
She's nailed it. Okay, so there's one question in the chat that I think that you would also be the best person to ask. People are asking for African scholarships to study AI and ML, machine learning. Would you want to speak to that for us?
First of all, like we all know, scholarships are really tight. They are really highly competitive. So the first step is for you to make sure you have good grades and to make sure that you have additional skills. Once you are sure you have good grades, they are, first of all, when you go to the different mass open source platforms, there are many free AI courses. I have many friends who are now leading voices in AI, but they've only done courses on EDX, Coursera, free courses. So I would encourage us to take advantage of the free courses, first of all. Once you have access, you can just type in, like, so now I don't know how to show this, but these are skills that you get as you move around. Like you can't know this if you're just waiting for someone to tell you what to do. So I would empower everyone here. If you're not using any AI system, try with ChatGPT. Type in free online AI courses. It will give you those courses. If you're not familiar or don't want ChatGPT, go to Grok if you're on X. If it's not Grok, go to Cloud. If it's not Cloud, go to, there are so many. There's the one of China, DeepSeek, depending on what you want to study. Once you've gotten that free course, I assure you, you're going to see other opportunities open. I have seen so many scholarships put on platforms and they tell you the applications are 10,000, but they want two. They want two people. So there are lower chances of all of us, the 170 on the platform, getting that scholarship. But once you've acquired the skill and you know what you can, when they're asking questions, you know you can qualify, then you can surely get the scholarship. The websites that are usually there is normally the universities that we know are big in AI. We know MIT. Obviously, these are American universities, but also in the Asia, there are so many companies that are offering AI courses. It's just the language that you need to have an interpreter or something that is translating for you what they're saying so fast on if you're to search. And in Africa, I have seen Rwanda. Rwanda has Carnegie Mellon University that's offering scholarships, but it's in masters. So you need to have a foundation for a bachelor's. I'm seeing also Pretoria University in South Africa. And I've seen one in Ghana. I can't quote the actual university. They offer, they are usually, so once you go into the ecosystem, let me just type in my LinkedIn here. And can follow me, please, on LinkedIn. So if you're in the AI ecosystem, AI has designed recommender systems in such a way that when you search on something, it brings you similar things. So if you search on AI bachelor's degree in America, you'll get one. Then you say scholarship, it will show you with many other things that follow. So the more you research on it, the AI system will recommend to you many, many, many more according to what you're eligible to. So that skill or the technique is for you to first get the free courses that are available. Keep searching. The more you search, the more the internet will be giving you those free things that you're looking for, especially those that you qualify for. Because again, they are targeting regions. They can be the West, East. So if you want to say for the West of Africa, clearly put that in the search engine for the West of Africa. If it is in the South of Africa, if it is in the North, on the East, the more you put in those searches, it will be recommending to you those things on your prompt, and you'll be like, hey, how did you know I'm looking for this? So the more you search, especially targeted searches, depending on the skill that you feel you qualify for, you'll be getting those recommendations. And there are many, though the intake is limited. They usually want like 4, 5, even 2, and your thousands will apply.
Thank you very much. So there are questions, more questions in the chat. I'll read them out and any of you can take it for us. Can a person code alone? If so, what are the tech skills required to learn? I'm assuming the person wants to know if you as a person, you can do coding alone. Yeah. Who is going to take that? Daniela looks ready to talk.
Okay, yeah.
Please
Yes,
go ahead.
so you can code alone, but you see, when it comes to coding, the more you interact with people, the more you get the idea. So most of the times, like in our team, when there is a problem, sometimes you just be in your corner solving. I've had that experience a whole lot of time. Sometimes I'm just stuck with something, then I go to a colleague, like, oh, there's this thing I'm trying to struggle with. Sitting there, my colleague might not say anything, but just by talking to him or her, it's like I've resolved my whole issue. Sometimes the person goes, so why did you come to me? So I go like, maybe I just needed to talk to someone. So it's good. And aside that, coding alone is good, but coding is more like you are solving a problem, okay? After solving the problem, there must be a collaboration, how you are going to communicate your solution to others. So just so that you don't just get stuck on, like, I'm just in my corner. So before I started coding, that's the impression they created for us, for anyone. So I remember someone telling me a female in development is not good because you can't be married. You just be thinking about solutions here and there. But then it's not always true. You need to communicate. You need to collaborate. Very, very necessary with others. It just helps in the process. It's not like coding with someone makes you a better coder or anything. It just helps. As you interact more with people, they give you more ideas, different directions, and different ways of solving it. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone want to add anything? Okay. So someone is still worried about AI becoming more intelligent than humans. So if that happens, what role would human play in the society? That's someone's concern. All right.
Let me talk about that. I am soon turning 40 years, and I should clearly say, the internet came around the 1990s, and we were so worried. We were so worried about Facebook. Like my generation was so worried about the internet. We were so worried that Facebook is going to steal us. We are so worried about the internet. Every bad thing we would hear would be so worried. And they would tell us one day we shall not exist because we are going to be in, that was a discussion in the 90s. We're going to be in these digital things. But as I grow up, I'm like, it depends on who you're having your ears to. If you're listening a lot to negative people, there are higher chances that you're going to live in a scared mode all the time. If you're looking at people who are looking at life differently, looking at opportunities, you're going to always be like, wow, like I can't finish all this. I call it a buffet. AI is kind of like a buffet. Obviously, there are those dangerous things that if you eat, you're going to be like, oh, like sweating because it's terrible. We are having bad people on the internet. We are having bad people in the AI era who want to just sweep everything and command you at a click. But again, we have good people using AI. So as AI gets more intelligent, which is the American dream, if you've been listening to the tech giants, if you've been listening to Elon Musk, if you've been listening to NVIDIA's CEO, if you've been listening to Sam Altman, their goal is creating an AI god. Clearly, it's in plain sight. You don't have even to doubt it. That is all where they're putting their money, to create a system that can control everything. Should you be worried? No. Why? Because you have an alternative. You can choose to live a decent life. We have so many of us who think internet is our life. No, there's life beyond the internet. There's life beyond AI. There's life beyond these tasks we are doing or jobs we are doing. And that life is a lot meaningful. If AI is going to take a job, it's not taking away your life. The jobs are going to evolve. They could be going away, just like we see many tellers having lost their jobs. We have few tellers in the banks. And we're having many people who are operating mobile money. People are moving out of the bank, they are on the street. The game has changed. AI is going to do the same. It's going to evolve. The only challenge we have now as Africa is our education is not, the system and the education sector is not preparing us for that. That's the only challenge we have, that we are not speaking, saying the jobs we are trying to learn now, or the way they are making us to be in the cramming mode, it will not work soon. What is going to be working soon is your intelligence as a human, your empathy as a human, your ability to see a problem and say, how can I solve it? And who has the money for me to give this solution to? And those are going to be so many. And as long as you know how to tinker with AI, you're going to have many skills, abilities, solutions that you can sell. It won't be a clearly defined job, that your job is software engineer. It could be your job is, I don't know, I even can't define the kind of jobs you're going to have in the next 5-10 years, but they're going to be there, but they're going to have evolved. Our task now is to accept it so fast, not resist it, because most of these jobs that are on internet are going to fairly be suppressed, fairly, because AI is going to be doing them. At that point where AI is fully intelligent, better than us, I think our only concern will be, we hope it will be a good AI that won't want to kill us all. We hope to be an AI that Americans are thinking of, that will want us to stay. I am a researcher. I deeply research. When you read the literature on Sam Altman, the one who is managing OpenAI, when you read on Elon Musk, on how he's seeing AI future, when you look at NVIDIA's target, you should be worried, but the worry should be positive. The worry should be, okay, why am I studying this? My mom wants me to have a degree. My dad wants me to have a degree. But can't I have something better? Can't I think outside this degree? Your worry should be, how can I think differently now before it's too late for me? And once you start to think differently, amazing things you're going to see. And you won't be worried about that job. You'll be worried about the skill you have failed to equip yourself with. The issue is skills, not job. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Dr. Teddy. Okay, so there's another question. What if you want to use AI in the maritime and shipbuilding industry? As a beginner, where should I start? Please, who is taking that on? Narisha, we've not heard from you. Do you have any insights for us? Oh, she's off camera.
Yeah, sorry, I think we can. But I think in any industry, if you just do some research, Sorry about that. I think if you just do some research into what skills you need, again, like we said, use ChatGPT, use Claude, use OpenAI. Try and ask yourself, what is it that you need to be in the maritime industry? Use those kind of tools, and I think it's basically for any skills, whether you want to be in maritime or in aeronautics, use the AI tools to ask it. I don't think any of us would have the answer unless we are in that industry, but I think, yeah, just use the tools, ask it, say, I would like to go into the maritime industry. What skills do I need? You let AI tell you what skills you need to do, whatever you need to study to move forward.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think with our conversation, it's also important to know that we are not just talking about coding. If you want to be a data analyst and all that, it also applies over there. All right. So another question someone has is, how do we prevent bias in AI systems, especially in sensitive fields like healthcare?
Please, can the person explain bias as in what does the person mean by bias?
Let me look for the person and see if the person will be able to do that immediately. Yes, Joyce, please explain better. Okay, so while she does that, someone also says, how does one learn coding with AI without depending on it all the time to write the code? I think, okay, I'm not a panelist. I was about to refer them, but please. Okay, Narisha is off mic, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think if you want to learn code, exactly, if you have no skills and then you're just trying to use AI to write code, you're not going to be very successful. There are places that there are websites that you could go to. I'm going to put one in the chat now. There's one called Leet Code. It's actually a great way for you to learn. So you can create an account, and even as a beginner, if you have zero skills, it will give you some tutorials. It'll give you some lessons, and you can start from beginner all the way up to an experience level. So I mean, my suggestion is, try and go onto it, visit it, create an account for yourself. Learn the basics from something like Leet Code, and there are multiple other websites just like this one, but this is a good space to start. So get yourself an account, start going through that, and after you have the skills, then obviously you can augment that with your AI tools.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Thank
want to
you.
add that it's good the question added without depending so much on AI. We should always know that AI is a tool, right? Before the chat GPTs, we had they are a tool. So to be a good developer, you know that when a tool is taken from you, you should be able to still operate. It's not like dependence. So in as much as you are going through your journey, AI is really going to do most of the stuff for you, but don't depend on it. So I mentioned earlier, when there's an error, take your time, go through. It's after you've been able to say, for this point, I can't do. That's when you seek for help. Even with asking friends for help, a way to really develop yourself, sit down with errors when something is not going well. Just familiarize yourself so much with so many things, like, and know your standards. So with the courses, take courses. There are free YouTube courses. You can take Udemy courses so that one day, if you should wake up, I think Dr. Teddy was mentioning, where is Africa? They decide that we are cutting off Africa from AI. I know it's not going to happen, but if there's something like that, you should be able to bring out a product. You shouldn't depend on tools like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think those are all the questions from the audience, but I have one last question for all three of you before we wrap it up here. So if a young woman here is doubting herself still after all this, what would you say to encourage her to take the first step to take? Each one of you. And then, so let's start from Narisha. On my screen is Narisha, Teddy, Daniela.
Okay, so I think if you're still afraid, I would say just jump in, make yourself known, and just because someone might have said, you shouldn't touch a computer, it's you're going to break something. Challenge them, challenge them, and say, no, I want to touch it. I want to get involved. If I break it, I will fix it. So take that first step. Be brave enough, and don't let your background or someone else telling you that you can't do it. Don't be defined from where you come from. It's where you're going. It's where you're headed. So I would say take that first step. Don't be afraid, and try and prove someone wrong. Try and prove to them that you have the capability. And like I said, if they're telling you shouldn't touch a computer, tell them I will. Even if I break it, I know I'll be able to fix it. So that's my last words to you.
Thank you, Dr. Teddy.
That was amazing, Marisha. Now, to me, if there is anything that I would like every young girl listening in today to take away is every day remind yourself, tech is not all about machines. The tech world is not all about machines. It's about power. It's about dignity. It's about opportunity. And it's about the future you want. You can't leave that to someone else. You must take control. Kindly allow yourself to be present in the future that you desire and that you deserve. And do it for your mother, do it for your father, do it for all your cousins and relatives. Let your voice in the tech world matter. Your ideas, your passion, your leadership, your courage, your resilience, and your nurturing is needed in the tech world. Please step up and move on. Let no one stop you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so when it comes to fear and doubts, I would want to say, see it as a tool to be a better person. So the fact that you are afraid and the fact that you are doubting, when it comes to doubt, I always say most of the questions that comes with doubt is, are you that good? Note that is a question, it's a yes or no. If you are quiet, your silent self is going to say no. So always say yes, a big yes, and that you are that good when it comes to the fear. It may never go, but it's building the confidence that overtakes the fear. And always approach programming as a skill. Remember the first time, maybe we may not remember, brushing our teeth. Now we brush our teeth effortlessly as if there was once we were beginners. See it as such. When you are beginning, it's going to be rough. You are going to face things that you are going to give up, but it's the consistency. Honestly, from my side, I thought it's with smart people that could. So my mind just went off. But when I approached it as a skill that develops with consistency, it really helped me. So start anyway. You are afraid, start anyway. Like see it as a tool, and you keep going. And when you start, know the resilience, because when it comes to programming, there is a day you feel like you are the smartest person God has ever created. And there are days you feel like, you are so dumb. It comes with all those emotions, but it's your resilience that will keep you going. There can be an error that you feel like there's been an error during my journey that I know this error, but it's taking days. Everything is like this error can even take days, but what keeps me moving is the resilience. Like I'm not going to give up because of this error. So have the resilience, approach it as a skill that when you consistently do, you are going to get better. And see the fear as just a tool. It's just telling you to get better with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think this has been a very, very productive and very good discussion. So many gems to take from this webinar. We are glad you are able to take a lot from this. I'd like to say a very big thank you to Nerisha, Dr. Teddy, and Daniela for taking time to do this with me. It was a very insightful one for me as well, and I enjoyed the conversation. So if there are no other questions, I would like to hand over back to Precious, and I'll say very big thank you once again to my panelists for doing this with me. And have a good evening, guys. Thank you very much. Precious. Yeah.
Hello, Ruby. Thank you very much. What are we saying to our amazing speakers and moderator? I want to see what you have for them in the chat. This has been a very engaging community. Like I could see you all in the chat trying to, help your colleagues who didn't understand some of the points and also adding and asking all questions. That is how it's supposed to be, and I am so happy that you did that. First of all, I would like to say a very big thank you to our speakers. It's such an honor to have you here with us today. You have very busy schedules, very tight schedules, but you still make time for us to come and teach us, to tell us some of the journeys you have personally experienced and give us an advice on how to move from where we are today to be better people tomorrow. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time and the knowledge that you have poured into us. And to my most amazing moderator, God bless you. Thank you very much for holding this conversation from the beginning to the end. It was such a privilege to have all of you here today with us to share this amazing time with us in respect to the International Women's Month. When we are talking about women taking the lead, women helping each other, this is exactly what we are talking about. We are building a tech ecosystem that is making every one of us gets the opportunity to grow, ask questions, and feel part of a community. And with that, we say very thank you. Now to the amazing people who joined us today. Thank you very much. Now, before I go to saying thank you to you all, I would want you to know that if you have, it's your first time joining, you have never heard anything about Tech for Dev, I will entreat you to search more about us and some of the programs that we have at Tech for Dev that can help you as a beginner navigating into tech. Some of the questions you asked, some of the things you wanted clarity on, when you follow us on our social media at Tech for Dev, you are going to have answers to most of these questions. Now, I want to remind you that Open Day happens every month, the last Thursday of every month, and the panel discussion is mostly the same. If you have a colleague that you think wants to navigate tech and they are confused, please introduce them to the Women Techsters Open Day. Tell them that you came here, you had an amazing session, and recommend this session to them so they can also join this insightful session. We have programs at Women Techsters within Tech for Dev that is going to help you so much. We have the fellowship, we have boot camps, we have Launchpad. Some of you are part of the Launchpad. Yes, there are so many amazing programs that you can benefit from as a young person starting out in tech. And I think that most of the things, almost all the speakers spoke about was doing research and asking the right questions. You have to ask the right questions. Even to the AI tool that you are using, if you want to know the types of AI tools for a particular task, you have to ask. They gave examples like Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, DeepSeek. All these tools are there. Ask the right questions to the AI. It's garbage in, garbage out. What you ask or what you put in there is what predicts the results that you will get. On this note, I want to say a very big thank you to you all for joining today's session. We are very honored to have you. We really hope that you picked a thing or two that is going to help you. We really pray that you have a mindset shift, that as you are leaving this meeting, you are not just going to forget about everything you've heard here, but you are going back to make impact. You're going to assess yourself, do better in terms of the way you are learning. If there was something that was confusing you, I am very, very sure that you've had clarity and you know where to start from and how it will go. So amazing speakers, please, your participants said they have an insightful they had an insightful and engaging session, and they really appreciate your effort. Tech over there, we also say that thank you very much. And most importantly, women texters, we say God bless you for your time and all the amazing insights you have shared with us today. Okay, some of you are asking about attendance. So during open day, you would not be taking attendance, but I know very much that with or without attendance, you have had a very insightful section, and you are going to, spread the gospel to other colleagues who might have not heard about open day. Tell them that next month, the same time, we will be here to discuss wonderful issues about women in tech and how we can grow together. Thank you very much for making time. I keep saying thank you because I am really appreciative of everybody here. If you had not been here, the session wouldn't have happened. And so we want to say a very big thank you to you again. I pray that you have a very lovely rest of the day. Okay. You have a very lovely rest of the day. Thank you very much for joining. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.